What's up, Queendom family? Welcome to Black Queens Uncut. Grab your wine, your vape, or whatever you need to relax so we can get straight into this queen chat. Queens, let them know who you are.
K Pasta, folks. My name is TK Trinidad.
And I'm Monique Lovelace. And of course, once again, we're missing Kiki. I know we send our condolences as she had a death in the family. And we're putting our prayers up for her while she takes care of what she needs to take care of. But we are super excited because we're talking about one of my favorite subjects, which I think needs to be talked about across the globe, is Black women in travel, because we don't do it enough. And we have a very special guest. Her name is Naomie, and she's a successful vlogger. I said not blogger from Boston, who's traveled to over 20 countries in the last 4 years. And we are so excited to have you, Naomie. Hi, Queen.
Hi.
We are excited to have you because I am excited to talk about the subject. I think it's something that we should discuss more often, just like, Black women are coming up and we need to be discussing travel and our finances a little more often so we can get them checks and we can travel. Okay.
That part.
Okay. So the first question here. What is going on with my speech today? Okay. Anyway, the first question here is, have any of the queens traveled during the pandemic?
Well, I haven't. One, because I can't leave the country, and if you guys know why. But I haven't traveled a bit. I think I went on a plane maybe once or twice, but I don't count that traveling. I don't count that much as traveling, but I haven't. One, because I don't know. I know you should still be living your life, but it's still kind of scary to me. And I haven't had COVID, and I just don't want to be like the last person to get COVID. And you just don't know how it's going to affect your body. Even though I'm healthy, it might affect me in a certain way. And I just don't want to take that chance. And I just, even though they say the planes are clean, I just, think they're dirty as hell. And amongst all the people and all that stuff, I just kind of chose to not to.
Absolutely.
Yes. I think this is the time where Josh is going to judge me, and it's okay, Josh. You can judge me since I judged you. But I have been traveling. Trying to get my best life. Okay. I wear my mask. Like, people make fun of me how I wear my mask because I'm very I'm dedicated to it. It's my new lover. But when I tell y'all that, people will be like, oh, a mask doesn't do anything. Let me tell you, as you talk and you spit, that is how we get passed on our viruses. You talking, you spitting, you laughing, you sneezing, whatever you nasty people do out here. That is how we carry on viruses, because as a virus is airborne, it dies. Okay, so as long as I got my mask on correctly, I do not wear it below my nose. Don't try me. I tell everybody around me, put on your mask. I had to even tell one of the waitresses, listen, I need you to put on your mask. She got a little upset at me, but I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, and I'm a social distance person too, so I make sure I social distance. So I usually fly Delta because you have the space, so I can kind of put my bag in between. I know, girl. Like, I kind of put my bag in between us, and then I make sure that I take my own snacks so I don't have to touch anything. I have my own wipes because I have a prepared book bag. My book bag is my carry-on, and then I wipe down everything before I sit down. Even the seatbelt and everything. Let me tell you, I've been living my best life during these cheap travel times, okay? Like, these cheap travel times, I've been living my best life. I make sure I carry my pack of masks, my antibacterial wipes. I wipe everything down. Even when I go through the TSA, I wipe down my ID, like all of it. I'm not playing with y'all folks, but I'm not going to stop. At some point, I had to be like, you know what? I need to be able to like get out. I just felt like my mental capacity couldn't take it no more. So as LA was shut down, I went to Atlanta to visit my family. I went to Dallas to visit friends and family. I went to Vegas for a girls trip. Like, I'm about to do, well, you know what? We're going to get into that. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead. Tell us where you done been.
Well, you guys are going to judge me too. So your girl's been traveling also. What do you mean? You are going to be best friends, sis. Okay.
Like, after this, girl, I'm going to be calling you like, sis, where we going? Where we going this month?
For real. Okay. Girl, so before I even started traveling, I started doing research on the best airlines that are like, you know, taking the proper precautions. And I noticed that Delta had the middle seat empty. I was like, okay, there you go. I'm always going to be traveling Delta throughout this pandemic. So I've been traveling. I literally came back 2 weeks ago from Jamaica from a girls trip.
Nice.
Yes.
Then I went to Hawaii. Okay, like
okay.
Once everything started opening up, I was like, man, I'm a travel vlogger. I need to get content. I need to go out there. As long as I take the proper precautions, wear my mask, carry my wipes with me, make sure I'm staying 6 feet apart. That's it for me. I'm out. I'm out of here.
Right. That's what I said too, because I went to, and it was funny because when I went to Vegas, I ended up flying Vegas first class because I did American Airlines. And you know, American Airlines, that was in February. And American Airlines they were talking about they were 70% capacity, but they was 100% capacity because my flight was full. Yeah. And so they gave me an upgrade to first class for $50. I had already first of all, I bought the ticket for $28, y'all. And then I turned around and got an upgrade for $50. I said, oh, okay, first class, here I come. So I don't have to be around you fools.
Yes.
I really took advantage of what was going on during this pandemic. But I mean, you do have to be cautious. But when you educate yourself about just how to stay cleanliness and kind of how things are passed along, then it really does help.
Absolutely.
And so I took true advantage of it. Like, I went to Dallas round trip for $59. I ended up doing Vegas for $75. I did Atlanta round trip. I think it was like $213. And then I'm excited because we're going to get to these questions now. Okay. So, traveling post-pandemic, has living through a pandemic changed your ideal vacation destinations?
I think now, like the flights that I'm looking for, I'm not doing economy anymore. So that's been a decision that I'm just kind of like, yeah, this is what we're gonna do. So I do agree. Like, I needed to get out of the city. It's just that the pandemic and then also immigration, blah, 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 couldn't really leave, plus the business. But I really decided that stuff has been going really well for my business and I've been working hard, like crazy hours. And I'm going to make this year like just self-care. And that's really important, and actually just taking a moment. So me and a gentleman caller have decided that we're going to do Puerto Rico and then have a girls trip to Hawaii. And so there's going to be like a lot more travel happening, but same thing, just being cautious, but also just wanting, like, I rather pay the extra money. It's like almost, I kind of equate it to like your food. Like, if you want a burger, I'd rather pay the extra money to get a quality burger than, I want to say no shade to McDonald's, but still shade, than buying at McDonald's. Just because the quality of meat is just, it's not for me. So I just decided that, booking tickets and all this other stuff, I'm just going to pay the extra money to just less of a concern, less of a headache, but still be cautious at the same time.
Yeah. What about you, Naomie? Have you like switched up your ideal vacation destinations post-pandemic?
Honestly,
well, going into post-pandemic, we ain't out of it yet.
Right.
That part.
Honestly, the only thing that really changes. If they're not letting me in, I can't go.
Right, girl, that was it. I was looking like, what? Like, why am I about to go to Europe and Italy is off the list?
Okay.
Girl. Like, I need to leave them alone.
That's the only thing for me. If they're not letting me in, then I can't go, then that's fine. But other than that, no, I am on that next flight. The only thing it requires is just to do more research, just because a lot of different countries require different things in order for you to enter the country. Right. So it's just taking me more time to do research. But other than that, once I find that good ticket, that's in my means, like, not expensive, I'm on that flight. I'm out of here.
Because lately I've been finding that even though we're coming out of post-pandemic, the flights are still kind of cheap. They're still lower. Yes. Which is really good because that means you can get your travel on a little more.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you can fit in a few more destinations in between time. But I will say that, bro, so my friend, she's been traveling. She is in Egypt right now, but she was doing Dubai in Egypt, and we were supposed to do it together. But she's in the UK, so when I canceled my ticket, that was because the UK got off of lockdown. Well, they were in lockdown because they had that variant. So the new variant. But so she was just like, "Girl, I'm about to inch my way up out of here." And I was like, okay, I'm going to book mine for some other day and I'm going to come and see you. But, and as she travels, she's just been kind of updating me and letting me know stuff. And so make sure you guys, this is number one thing. When you go and get your PCR testing, because you have to get your PCR testing to all the other countries at this point, and make sure you learn about their quarantine. And this is something you could tell everybody too, but this is something that I'm learning. So to educate our queens, your PCR testing is number one, which you can get through your doctor, right? Or you can get through like CVS. I think it's CVS. Yep.
CVS.
It's a fee with CVS. And it's kind of expensive too for CVS.
Not for me.
Really?
Girl.
Where you at? Are you in New York?
No, I'm in Atlanta.
Oh, that's probably why, girl. Y'all been open. Y'all been out there acting crazy.
That part.
I mean, yeah. I was looking at y'all in November. I came out there in November because my family is there, and I was like, "Miss, can you please put on your mask?" Like, y'all was out. Like, y'all was like, you know what? We're done in June. Okay, good. Pandemic is over. We're going to go ahead and do this. I was like, okay, my Black people. Yeah. But your PCR testing here in LA, CVS is like $136.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of expensive. So I know that it depends on, I guess, wherever you're at, how much they're charging. I go through my doctor because I'm Kaiser. But and also make sure that you look at the destination and its quarantine policies before you go, because there are places that are making you quarantine for like 10 or 14 days before you can step out and do any of your traveling. So that's super important as well. It might change by the time this drops, but for right now, that's kind of where it's at.
Absolutely. But can I add something to that?
Yes, go ahead.
A lot of the countries are requiring you to have a QR code. And what that means is for you to upload, if you take a COVID test, to upload it into the government website so that when you get there, it's like they screenshot it and your name pops up and it says if you're negative. That way you don't have to quarantine. So that's something else that you should keep in mind. Make sure you download the QR code. It's extremely important.
Got it. Yep. And because they was, when I was going to go to Dubai last month, was it March? February. They wanted you to have the certificate in hand, so they must have changed that.
Yep.
Already.
So
Yeah. Because you were supposed to carry this certificate, and I was like, how long is it gonna take me to get this certificate? Like, it was a mess, but whatever. So I feel like, back to the question, I do feel like my travel destinations haven't really changed as far as kind of where I want to go and where I'm going. But I will say that it has pushed me to say, fuck it all and go and stop playing around because you always kind of wait, like, oh, I'm gonna wait until this and I'm gonna wait until that, or I gotta get my stuff right, or I gotta do this. And it's like, no, it'll never be right. You'll always have that bill.
Right.
Like,
yep.
You know what? If you die tomorrow, your company will replace you in 2 weeks. I've seen it.
Exactly.
So go explore, be a witness to this beautiful earth. That's just my message anyway. Are y'all a little clearly we've been talking about this, but are y'all a little afraid of flying after the COVID, after like the pandemic?
I mean, I was before the pandemic. I wouldn't say I was afraid. It was just more of like, you just see there's people who are just not, I don't want to say not that clean, but their protocol in general. Because I, like, for instance, even the hand sanitizer before the pandemic, I always had hand sanitizer on me in my car, etc. So that was just a part of my life, right? But it's just kind of like before the pandemic, there were people that you would see and you're just like, okay. So it's I wouldn't say I was afraid. I'm not necessarily a super germaphobe, but it was just kind of like when I get on the plane, I don't want no snacks. I don't want you handing me any drinks. In fact, I usually put my eye thing on. I put my music in. I get next to the window. Don't wake me up until the end of the flight. Like, don't bother me. I'd like, just don't touch me. Don't bother me. I'm in my corner. So now it just feels like the few flights that I have been on, it's just kind of like, I do feel safe, because I feel like the airline companies are taking the protocols, but it's just kind of, concerning that, people who weren't doing the stuff before, I don't know if they're going to actually take that in consideration. And then you have a lot of people who in different states, no shade to Georgia and Atlanta, they're just living their best life, but some of them might be literally walking around with it. And now, I just so happen to put a cracker in, what I'm saying? It's just weird. So it's not fearful, but it just definitely made me more cautious.
Yeah. I think I've always been cautious of the airlines because they dirty as fuck, period. When my friend, because a lot of my friends travel or they work for the airlines, because Atlanta, they're all in Atlanta. And that's what most people do, is because Delta is placed there, is work for the airlines. At some point in life, they worked for the airlines. And when my friend told me that they wash and rebag blankets, I said, oh no, I can't. That was the grossest thing to me ever. I was like, oh no. So I think I probably do take a little more caution, but I don't think I'm gonna be afraid, because even my last flight when I went to Dallas, I was on American. It was packed, it was full. A lot of flights, because I only fly usually 2 airlines to keep that loyalty, because then they treat you a little bit better. So even though majority of the time I won't like select my seat or anything like that, because it's the cheaper ticket, but because I have all my information inside the a login, and they see how many times you fly, like they'll usually place you where you want to be anyway. So I do feel like I'm a window girl, so I can have my corner and nobody's bumping into me.
That part.
And so I sit in my window, and then, like I said, I'll wipe everything down. I don't think I'm afraid to fly, because these flights have been packed. Honestly, they've been packed. The airport has been packed. Like it looks like normal.
Especially in Atlanta.
Yes, it doesn't
Atlanta.
look any different. Like it looks
Atlanta.
normal
Down here.
Actually, I do have a question. I don't know if you both can answer that. As far as, the states, we'll just talk about Atlanta primarily. As far as the cases, have they just been low, or have they not?
No, sis, they're high.
Oh, okay.
They're high. But
Okay.
the thing about me, I don't really go out. It's too much. It's too much for me. And I really want to take the proper precautions. So I really stay home. I'm only usually just travel. Like I'm on a flight and then I'm going somewhere else. I don't really go to day parties, or I go to brunch here and there, but The numbers are
Right.
high.
They was open and by July. No mask, strip clubs open, packed, clubs open, packed. Yeah. I was like, I mean, they still had NBA All-Star weekend.
They sure did. They sure did.
My friends was texting me like, Miss, I was like, y'all dumb. Like, get away from me. Y'all
dumb. It was really packed, like crazy packed here. My ass stayed home. Nope, you ain't getting me.
Not at all. So before we go into our next segment, I do want to mention our sponsor, Lawand, which is a woman-founded premium brand of personal vibrating massagers that bring unparalleled quality to a notoriously sketchy industry. Lawand originated as one hell of a classic wand, all the power you could want with an award-winning design to match, and has now become a full line of best in its class, heart-pounding, hair-raising toys. Designed with pleasure in mind for all bodies, Lawand embraces and champions intimacy for all with power. Versatile pleasure tools that bring you to the next level. I mean, who don't want that? Hello. We're proud to be the people. They're proud to be the people's go-to for orgasms that you can count on. And yeah, definitely true. So thank you, Lawand, for everything that you're doing for us ladies. Okay, with we'll call it self-care. That is a part
self-care and partner care. I mean, the packaging is amazing. And I called my gentleman caller and I was like, yo, I got something in the mail. And he's like, I bet. And we enjoyed it together. So shout out to
Lawand. Yes. I haven't enjoyed it with nobody yet, but I've enjoyed it myself. So it is definitely luxurious. I definitely will say it's on point, y'all. So make sure y'all go over to their website at lawandmassager.com and get your massage on.
Oh my gosh. I just want to say shout out to Josh because we have a chat and Josh literally said, okay, TK. I'm sorry. I just had to, you wondering why I'm laughing so hard. That's why.
I was wondering what the chat was saying. I see some stuff going on, but I can't look at it right now.
I mean, and the other thing too about it is that it's so like, not only the packaging is great, but just the way it's shaped, like it's very discreet. Like it's not one of those, I don't know, like I'm not versatile in that area, but it's not one of those like, big massage stingers or this big penis looking thing. Like it's very elegant. So you feel okay if you're traveling, you can just drop it in and it looks nice. It's just a nice little box. So
oh my gosh, it's perfect for travel. Okay, let me tell you, it has it's a bag. They have these beautiful white bags and you put it in there. Well, this is for the pleasure set, but they do have bags for their other things. But the pleasure set is so good to travel. Like, I cannot wait to throw it in my bag and just...
I need to purchase ASAP.
Yes, girl. It's so cute. And I tell y'all, like, it's definitely one for travel. Like, and it's nice and it's luxurious and it's really, really nice. Yeah. So yeah, that was the conversation. Thank you, Lawand, for being
Thanks, Lawand.
The luxury class act of orgasms for women. And we'll say self-care. So make sure y'all go get it. Y'all can check it out at the www. Y'all can also check it out on our social media. We will be posting their stuff, so you can go click, get your stuff right away. Yay! And make sure you pleasure yourself. So speaking of traveling and traveling. We are going to get into our next part of our episode, which is where we going, sis, because we need to know where we going, sis. We need to know where we packing up this massager and going. Hello. So I'll say, once the world opened back up, this is something that I've been planning. What is a place that y'all are wanting to go to like right away?
First off, shout out to my college homegirl. So she's been married for a while, and she hit us up in the chat, and she's like, "Yo, I need to get away from my husband," in a loving way. Like, she doesn't like dislike him, but she's like, "I've been with him. Like, I need a girl." So unfortunately, so maybe somebody who knows somebody can fix this immigration stuff with me. I can't leave the country. However, I spoke to my lawyer, and he's like, "You can do." Actually, step back. I was praying about it, and then God told me Puerto Rico. Like, it was very random. So shout out to God. Where I mean, it's a long story, but Puerto Rico, Hawaii, New York, those are kind of the main ones, and then I probably throw in Atlanta. So that's gonna be my trips for this year, and Lord willing, all that good stuff, I can travel out of the country by the end of this year. So that's my goal. I'm putting in the universe. It's gonna happen, and when that happens, South Africa, Australia, definitely Canada, and the islands.
Nice. So are you down to do friends or solo? Solo dolo.
You're talking about travel?
Yeah.
Oh, gentleman caller. I really don't, honestly, and I hope they don't listen to this. I'm really not a girl trip girl. But okay. Definitely gentleman caller. Definitely with my homegirls, and a few of them is just to get away. Just some, because I don't mind going places by myself, and a lot of the places, there's this like yoga retreat that I really want to check out in Arizona. A lot of places just like, leave me the F alone. I just want to sit here, read my book, write my book, sip something, and sleep. So yeah, but I like bringing sand to the beach. So definitely a few gentleman callers, and then I'll be a good girlfriend and go. But it's not my first option.
What about you, Naomie?
Now
that we're kind of open.
Real quick, TK. So all those places you mentioned, I've been to. So I will send you my itinerary, and I will tell you exactly the best places to stay and where to eat at. Because, honey, I'm the same way. Puerto Rico is definitely a good place for you to relax, read your book, and girl, the food, woo! Yes. Okay. So yes, I'll send you that.
Josh is excited right now. Josh, you excited? Puerto Rico?
So the first place I want to travel to once everything opens up is the motherland. I'm actually really doing my research. I think I'm going to go to Kenya. And
yes, do it.
Yes.
So it's girl, are you on I forget what it's called, travel something, or I'm on Scott's Cheap Flights? Are you on Scott's Cheap Flights?
No.
Okay, well, he just sent out a flight for Kenya in February. That's $500 from LAX. So you.
Okay. There's a couple of sites I'm on. It's called Flight Deals, and they give you to all the places. And I found one for Kenya. It was like $400. September. Yeah. So yes, I'm on it. I'm looking. I'm comparing prices. I'm going.
It's life-changing. I was there for 3 weeks. It's life-changing. Definitely recommend doing the safari. They have a couple safaris, but they have one safari where you're actually on the edge and you wake up to the elephants. Like literally, like you wake up to the elephants.
Sis, I've been looking at that.
Yes. It's game-changing. But I also recommend, because it's not, I don't know how you travel, but it's not a place, because it's so far, that you're going to go to every year. Right. I definitely recommend doing something charitable in some sort of way, because it was really life-changing to me. Wow. One, just to see how a lot of the stuff, my folks are from the islands, so a lot of the food that was in Kenya, like my grandmother made. Wow. And it was really life-changing. Like I get goosebumps thinking about it. It's been a minute. So it was really life-changing like that way, but then also seeing the people and helping. We did a couple of charity stuff, like that was really great too. So that's my recommendation, but I know some people just want to like travel and experience it, but Kenya has so many different things. You can do the safari, you can go into the hills, but also be prepared too.
Right. And you know what the best part about it? If you could find a local person that could actually take you around. So my best friend's boyfriend is Kenyan. And so he's the one that's like, trying to put everything together. So I know he's going to take me to all the great spots. And we were also talking about doing charity work, because I'm big on charity. I'm big on doing mission work. So
Mhm.
that's something we were talking about too. So
Yeah.
yes, thank you for those recommendations.
Yeah, it's
Right.
life-changing. Like you, I
Yes.
definitely, I recommend anybody. I mean, I'd say anybody is who's human. Everybody should go, but especially Black people, because the funny thing was when I went with a group. They were all white, and
Wow.
Black people in Kenya weren't used to seeing Black people from North America. And on top of that, I have African names. It was a whole thing. We could talk about it offline, but it's just so crazy. But it was an amazing experience. I definitely recommend people go, and not just to one country.
Yes.
If you can try to do a hop.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. That sounds good. I definitely want to get over to like Ghana. And then when I do Dubai, I'm doing Dubai for my birthday, which is in November. Yeah. I am going to go ahead and fly over to Egypt and do Egypt. Nice. And because it's like right there. And do that because I need to get to the motherland too. I'm like, I need to go feel some motherland, honey. Let me go get this energy.
Yes.
But for when I feel like my first travel is let me see, because there's a few places. So as this airs, we'll probably take this out. But as this airs, it's Memorial Day weekend. And I'm supposed to do Honolulu during then. Nice. And then I'll be in, because I love Maui, but I haven't been to the Big Island. I usually go to Maui because it's so relaxing. It's just like getting away. It's like you're talking about like a true like getaway. Like it's such a true getaway. There's like really nothing there that you can get involved with except for like water sports and really exploring the island. So I decided to do Honolulu. And then I'm back to Atlanta for the 4th of July. And then I take my big trip to Europe in August. And then in my birthday, which is November, I will be doing Dubai and Egypt. So I'm really excited about Europe because it was supposed to be like Europe and Italy. So it was going to be like London, Paris, Amsterdam. And then I'm hoping that Italy will get it together enough that I can do Milan and Rome at least. And then leave out of London again. But definitely London, Paris, Amsterdam is on there.
You have to do all the Europe side. It's so beautiful. Oh my God.
I'm like, I cannot go to
taken.
Yes.
Like, I had goosebumps leaving. Yep. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. If you could squeeze in Greece, squeeze in Greece.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking about that too. I was looking at it because from one, if I do one from the other, because it was supposed to be London, Paris, Amsterdam. So for sure I'm doing those. I already booked for London to London. So I booked round trip from London to London. Yeah. But booking before the 30th, I can move my flight around because it's on Delta, KLM.
Okay. I would recommend, this is what I did. I did Paris, London, flew out to Italy. So I did Rome. Yeah. And then from Rome, I flew out to Turkey. And then from Turkey went to Greece. So it's like that whole, circle. So that was amazing. The food, the people, oh my shock.
And I'm doing it solo.
Wow.
So, it's going to be like my first kind of like solo thing. I'm a little nervous because I know getting into like France, they don't really speak a lot of English. I'm like,
girl, Google on that phone. You good.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad? Mm-mm. Okay, good. Because I was a little nervous about that because I know in France, they don't speak like, especially if I want, because I should be with my friend. Well, she lives in London. I'm pretty sure because, it's 2 hours away. She'll visit me in Paris and around like Amsterdam. So, since that's so close to her, she probably knows a little more to like get around. But the idea is to do those 3. And then I was supposed to do, I was going to drop down to Nice and Monaco and then up to Milan. And then back down to Rome and then over to Greece. And then Greece back to London and London back to LAX. So that's the trip. But Italy keeps having that with the COVID, and they're not doing so good. So their restrictions are just so much different that I'm not really sure if once I get over there and I kind of fill it out and I see if it's different, then I'll still go. I'm not going to stop. That's why I'm going when I'm going, so that I can still have the time to kind of like decide if I want to continue or if it's good to do that. But for the most part right now, it's London, Paris, Amsterdam, and then maybe like Nice, Monaco. Nice, like down there to see. But I do want to get Milan and I do want to get Rome, and I definitely want to go to Greece. I was like, I might just have to wait and make Greece a whole trip on its own, because
that's true. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah,
so
because I want to do
worth it.
Yeah, because I want to do Santorini, Mykonos, and Athens.
Yeah, I did all 3. And squeeze in Turkey, Cappadocia. Girl.
Okay.
So Cappadocia is like known for their like air balloon.
Yes, like Thailand.
Yeah, girl.
Yes.
So squeeze that in because it's not too far. It's literally like a 45-minute plane ride to.
Okay.
Yeah, so squeeze it in. That would be
so I might just do that and make Greece by itself and then do Turkey as well with it, because then I can go to Istanbul too, because I don't want to go to Istanbul.
Girl, the food.
Woo! I'm sensing a theme here. Lots of food. They have good food.
I love food.
We do too. We do too. So yeah, that's my first kind of like little thing that's going on. Is I'm really excited because I'm going to be traveling Europe solo.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to really do this. I felt like this was heavy on my soul. My ancestors and spiritual angels and God was like, do it.
Yep.
Be open, meet new people, because I'm always meeting people. So meet new people and like just be open.
Yeah.
So I'm doing it and I'm excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous, but I'm excited. So what do y'all feel about vacationing with someone who is not going to get vaccinated? Are y'all getting vaccinated to travel?
I feel like, and maybe you can answer this more, I feel like it's going to come to a point where it's going to be required, like just to get into a majority of countries. I am leaning towards getting vaccinated. It's just that I haven't, been rushing. Like I checked it out one day and I was just like, this is too long. I have things to do. And again, I'm not traveling. I think when it gets close to me traveling, then I'm actually, and if I hadn't gotten vaccinated by then I'm actually like look into it. But I don't know. I go on dates all the time and I never really ask about the guy being vaccinated. Although I did have one guy text me and say, I'm vaccinated now, I can come see you. And I didn't even know I didn't even know we were waiting for him to get vaccinated. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, I kind of almost feel like the whole vaccinated with a person is almost like sex. Like you have sex with somebody, you have sex with that particular person. Is stuff pops off, you can now go to that particular person and cuss them the F out. And I feel the same way with like vaccinations. Like I only like when I go out, I'm only dealing with people one-on-one. So I can pinpoint, like if I were, knock on wood, get COVID, I can go to that person like, yo, bro, you're going to be taking care of me, or you're sending me a care pack because this was definitely your fault. So that's my opinion on it.
This is, I feel like I get judged. I'm not getting vaccinated. Like I said, I don't care what nobody says, I'm a masker, ride or die. And I stick to my mask and I stick I want my social distancing. So I don't mind people not being vaccinated as long as we get tested before we travel or stay in like hotels together and stuff. If I was to travel with somebody, because when we did like lately when we've been doing trips like girl trips and stuff, we just all stay, we done got so bougie, we just all get our own hotels, like right in the hotel we take up the whole floor. And so that's been super dope. I'm like, look at me, hashtag adulting with my girls. Hey, so.
But question, what if the countries you're planning on going to are going to require you to be vaccinated? Will you just not
That's
go,
the
or will you
thing.
consider
I
it?
keep, a lot of people keep saying that, like, oh, I think that people are going to be required to get vaccinated. But honestly, it's going to be really hard to do. Because if you think about it economically wise, that won't work out. If people don't want to get vaccinated, they won't travel. Like if you know what I'm saying? If you don't want to put something in your system, there are hardcore people who don't wear masks. Those hardcore people who don't want to get vaccinated are not going to get vaccinated. It's going to cause travel to kind of slow down as well because everybody doesn't want to get vaccinated. So economically, that could hurt you. And
It
so
depends. Yeah,
to
it depends.
make, yeah, and most countries are a business anyway. They're thinking about money. They're thinking that's why some countries were like, you know what, we're open to America, so come on in, even though y'all got high rates, it don't matter, come on in,
Right.
because the money is what matters, and
Right.
tourists make money. And if you're a tourist, majority of the time there's going to be a whole bunch of people that are not going to want to get vaccinated, like a whole lot of people. I mean, they just threw out a whole bunch of doses here in LA because they couldn't get enough people vaccinated. So, I mean, at the end of the day, they can try to make it mandatory, but just like masks aren't mandatory, unless it's by business, like you economically, I just don't think that's going to work. Like,
Right.
at the end of the day, you'll lose out on a lot of money, and countries are businesses. They need the money, especially ones that ride off of tourism, like Vegas. They got the biggest hit because they ride off tourism, and they have to get that back immediately. And if they don't, they're going to go down the hole even more, and that's going to hurt them even more. But I just think other country wise or just period, like that's just going to be really hard to mandate.
Yeah.
As much
I
as
don't know,
I
because
feel
certain
like,
countries, like Kenya, for instance, you had to have a certain amount of shots, and you had to show them that you received them. So I
well,
don't,
yeah,
but
that's
I
because
don't think Kenya's a high touristy place like France or something. But it is going to be interesting. I don't know. Yeah, it seems like that's what people are saying. But again, it's what's actually going to happen. So I don't know. We'll see.
right. That's the thing. Like, and I mean, you just made a great example of maybe why Kenya may not be the biggest tourist place compared to somebody else that doesn't have those restrictions. It's a beautiful place, and there's going to be people who do get their regular vaccinations that they got as a kid, because that's what Kenya requires is your regular kid vaccinations to enter their country, because they have other detrimental, diseases that you're like, you can't eat and crawl and get your skin all, you know what I'm saying? You're like, no, like, but at the end of the day, with this being like a virus and, people trying to make it mandatory or you can't travel, that's going to hurt everybody economically, like across the board. And everybody ain't going to be on board with that. So I just find it kind of hard to mandate something, to make it mandatory. And that's why they don't make stuff as mandatory. Maybe certain countries will, like Italy might, because Italy is taking a hard hit. But other than that, I mean, when that is just, I feel like this part could be taken out because when we do our nurses episode, they'll cover that, but we'll see. Either way it goes, back to our travel. What are five top places that you guys want to go to that's on your bucket list? Okay, Naomi, you already said Kenya.
Yep. Bora Bora.
Yeah.
Bali.
My number one.
Yeah. Bali.
Yeah.
Brazil.
Mhm.
And
Yes!
and the last one's Vietnam.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
retweet all of that, and I'll add New Zealand. Because I have a friend who goes there every year, and he was saying that like do Australia, of course, but he's like New Zealand is the place that you want to spend the most of your time. So I definitely want to do these New Zealand, South Africa, Nigeria, and Japan. This is like on my bucket list. Plus everything you said too.
Love it.
Yeah. Mine is Bora Bora, Maldives, Tokyo,
Yep.
Shanghai,
Yes.
and girl, you got Bali and Brazil. I want to do both of those too. Like I want to do both of those too. Bali and Brazil definitely have to be on the list. Oh, in Ghana. So I have 7. Ghana. Definitely those are like the 7 top places that I want to go before I kick it in this world. And you know, I'm just like, listen, I have to make to the, you know, I don't have any kids, no attachments. It's the perfect time to be traveling.
Same with me, sis. You better talk about it.
I'm like, let me travel. Let me get it in while I can. Let me get it in while I can because I like can just go.
Yes.
But they have, are you in Black and Travel?
Yes.
Do you follow Black and Travel?
Yes.
You know, they're doing Brazil.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah. I was like, damn, I should have got on that trip. I think it's 2022 though. So
yeah, it is 2022.
On that one. Okay, I might still be able to get on that one. And then the last question to you know, really inspire our Black women out there and appreciate traveling no matter what. If you are single, if you're not single, if you have a family, just to get out and travel. You know, I read this article, which I did send in the actual rundown, that most, you know, Black folks only make it like 500 to 800 kilometers from where they live. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have to start traveling to see the other opportunities out there. So, first of all, why do y'all think that is?
I think it has to do with family. Like for me, my mom, we didn't travel a lot when I was a kid, but every summer she would send us to New York. And you know, my aunt and my cousin would take my brother and I out and stuff like that. And then on top of that, my folks are from the island, so we would go back to the island. So we didn't really travel beyond our circles, but we still got out of the city. But it was crazy to me when I went to college. I went to JC out here to start off with, and I met a lot of people from LA who never left LA. But then you talk to them and their parents never left LA. And so it's like, why would you desire something that you don't even know about per se? So I think that that has to do with it, because even though I didn't necessarily travel that much as a child, my aunt traveled, like she's from South America, and she was like a auctioneer or some weird job where she traveled all throughout South America. So I grew up hearing her tell all these stories of Brazil and Venezuela and stuff like that. So it's just kind of like that was part of that was kind of in my atmosphere. And I think if that's not in your atmosphere as a child, then why would you want to go to Bali if you didn't even know it existed? Like I had so many people who didn't know Black people were in Canada. I had so many people who didn't know that like much about Canada other than like, oh, well, it's a country, but they didn't know anything. So it's just like, but it's not the ignorance part. Well, after a certain age, it does become ignorance, but like there's that middle ground where it's just like, how are you going to know something or ask something or desire to do something if you didn't know it even existed?
Right.
So, you know, if your version of a trip is going to Palm Springs, and that's A-okay. You out of LA. So I think it comes with, I think it comes with how you're raised, good or bad. And I think too, and I got into this mind space as well, where you're thinking, okay, well, I'm gonna wait until I get this amount of money so I can travel. And then as you're waiting, you're never looking. So it's like, if you're never looking for the ticket, you're always gonna miss that great flight because you're waiting for this particular thing to happen, opposed to no, like I may find the ticket for $50 to go to Vegas, or wherever, to go somewhere else. You just have to be, so you're not putting it in the universe either. So then you're just going to find yourself 5-6 years down the line just still waiting and wanting, but it's more of a wish than actually becoming a reality.
Right. I definitely agree with that. And I will add to what you kind of touched on is finances. Like, I think a lot of people, especially in our Black community, since there's such a wage gap, that we just can't afford it. You want to be able to maybe travel with your family, and tickets come out so expensive just for a flight for your family and you. And there, as of until recently, there was never a time where you could just finance it. Unless you had the credit card to do that. But, a lot of the times we don't have that as well. So I think it has a lot to do with definitely both. Like, if you're not seeing it in your family because they can't afford it, then you're just kind of like, well, I guess, whatever. I'm just, right, like you said, I'm going to go to Palm Springs and that's my vacation. I'm out of LA or Vegas. That'd be Vegas. To Vegas.
But it's still better than nothing. Like I know people who have kids and they're like, they don't. And then on top of that too, and I fall into that because I want to have kids, that dude, traveling with kids is a lot. Like, I see parents with their kids and I'm just like, yeah, I think I'll tell the kids that I'm going on a vacation and they can see the pictures. And when they get old enough, they can go on their own. But I don't know if I'm gonna want to take kids on vacation, because it's a lot. Why are you laughing? There's more judgment, Monique. Why are you laughing? It's very true.
No, because I actually agree. When I be hearing kids scream, I be like, can they show their kids? Hey, yeah, in the mouth. Oh my gosh, turn around.
Yeah. Or when, not if, when I get my money together, just bring the nanny. Because Ben, who did our photo shoot, so Chef Ben, he and his husband went to Hawaii. They brought their nanny. So that would be the only way that I would travel with kids. But it's just, I think parents who have kids, it's like, one, you have to find the finances to travel. And then two, you have to deal with them and then entertain them. So it's not much of a vacation to you. Like, it's just like, I'm giving my child this. Now I see why my mom sent us to New York every summer. Now it makes total sense.
Like to have her own time.
Exactly.
To set us off, can you give some inspiration to Black women and kind of like, what can get them inspired to do more traveling?
Absolutely. Just to piggyback on both of what you both said, when people think about traveling, they think about cost, they think about expensive. And honestly, traveling to me is not really that expensive. And people could define expensive different ways. But the one thing that I feel like we're lacking is research. Like, people don't know where to go to find cheap tickets. They don't know when to go online to find it. They don't know where to get like Airbnbs, what is safe, what is not. So I just feel like that's the main focus. One is financial and also doing research. And that's why on my YouTube channel, I go in and try to like inspire people to let them know that if I can do it, you can also do it. Sis, I'm not spending no more than $300 on my round trips when I go out of the country. And that's $300 round trip. Okay. And if I decide to go cross the other part of the country, I'm only spending like $25, $30 more, so, but it's all about research. There's this, I'm going to give you all my secrets right now. There's this website called Flight Deals, and they always update their website. It tells you exactly like the dates that you could fly out. It tells you the time and it tells you the pricing. So let's say if it was like from May 1st to May 5th, girl,
no,
May 1st,
get my phone.
May 1st to May 5th, it could be like $200. Okay. There's another one. It's called, I'm always on Google Flights, just to compare the prices from what they say on Flight Deal to Google Flights. Okay. Yes. Like there's so much out there. I'm also on, I'm always checking Airbnbs, okay? Instead of doing hotels and trying to compare. Is it better to stay at a hotel or is it better to stay at an Airbnb? The other thing that I do is flights, hotel. Oh, also, let me tell you guys, it's very crucial about the month that you decide to travel. So hear me out here. When I was going to Greece, okay, I always try to travel on off dates. So that means I travel from the end of August to the beginning of September, because that's when everyone has to prepare to go back to school. The prices are dropping. People are not traveling as much. So the prices of the tickets are, I'm telling you,
that's
slim to none. Okay. Okay. So you have to, if you're trying to travel in the summer, sis, it's going to be skyrocket. It's going to be expensive because everyone is trying to travel. You need to travel on the off dates. I'm telling you, it works every single time. I went to Greece for $300. Are you kidding me? And in that Greece, I went to Santorini, I went to Mykonos, and I stayed at the best hotel. Remind you, the hotel used to charge $1,000 per night. Sis, I stayed there for $150 per night. Okay, and that's because that's on the off dates.
Yeah,
you just need research, and a lot of people don't know. They don't have that information, and that's why I'm telling you, Black queens, you guys need to go out there. It's very crucial to travel, spread your wings. There's so much out there, and it's not expensive. Just literally sit down, buckle it down, and do your research. And I promise you, you will love traveling and you will not be afraid to travel.
See, here's the thing. I agree with you. And I love technology, because someone like me that, might do 30 minutes maybe of research, I'm like, I can't. Like, I appreciate people like you who look like me, who can give me those tips, because now it makes life so much easier, because even the off days and it makes sense that you didn't even think of it. So I appreciate you for doing the research, because I probably would never have gotten that far. I've been like, so thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you. And that's what my whole YouTube page is about. I really try to encourage Black young women to go out there and really go out there. Don't be afraid. And I go into details and explain the ways you can find cheap tickets, how to budget. Okay. Yes. So
I'm loving it. I mean, girl, we gonna be trying to hit me up, because we're going to be traveling together.
Girl, when you come to Atlanta, hit me up, okay?
I'm being there the 4th of July, okay?
Girl, I'm coming to meet you, okay?
Yes, I'm there from June 30th to July 7th. I already booked the ticket because it was $200. I'm like, yes, okay, because you're right. I like to book my tickets. They always say book your tickets 6 weeks ahead of time.
Absolutely,
the cheapest.
Yes,
but like you said, off time in Dubai is in the summertime. So if you want to go somewhere for the summertime, you can get cheap tickets for Dubai in the summertime, because that's their season where nobody wants to go.
Okay, because it's so hot over there.
Yeah,
exactly, girl. I know.
And tickets even now to Dubai are $609 round trip. That's from LAX. So anywhere else it might be cheaper.
Absolutely.
And then I got my round trip ticket from London, multi-city ticket from London, Paris, Amsterdam, back to LAX for $650. Yeah, because of it was August. It's August.
See what I'm saying? They're off there. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yes, girl. So we are going to plug you, because all of our queens and even kings need to be on her channel to make sure that you are getting all of your travel information, because we need to be exploring the world. Yes. We need to have those other opportunities so we can provide businesses, so we can provide economics in other places for our community, period.
Yes.
We're a $1 trillion community
too.
Huh?
It's also life-changing too.
Yeah.
Those experiences that you have, it's it changes your perspective.
Yes, it does.
And then also too,
does.
for all the crap that people say about America, North America. You know, if you, for instance, you go to Kenya, you know, up in the hills, yeah, you're gonna change your tune a little bit. So you know, it makes you also really appreciate, you know, where you live, and even though you might not think it's a lot. Yeah,
that's what happened when I went to Jamaica. And just real quick, so we can wrap up because we went over, but this is a great episode because I want everybody to travel. It just really brings a lot of therapy, and it brings a lot of different perspectives, and to see the insights of other people's lives and how they live on a regular basis that's so different than America is such a beautiful thing. Like, we went to Jamaica and we actually ended up getting a tour guide who was from the island. So we went to Ocho Rios and he took us around, and it was so eye-opening. I was like, oh my gosh, like literally people live like this. And I mean, outside the tourist place is beautiful. And, you know, when you go to the beach, it's beautiful, but how these people are living every day. Like, that's when I became very grateful. Not saying that America is like the greatest, you know, we still have a lot of work to do, but the freedoms that we do receive is totally different than some other places that you're like, wow, I could be here. I could be no electricity, building my own places out of mud and hay and whatever kind of like material, walking to get water that's not filtered. And it's just, you know, and not, you can't take a shower every day. You pee outside, or you know, you use the bathroom outside. And if you're lucky, that's if you're in a certain bracket. But other than that, you know, you just learn so much about so many different people in life. But to wrap it up, thank you so much, Naomie. This was so beautiful. And I truly hope that everybody visits that we can get everybody to really come and visit your page and follow you so that they can really get the information that's needed. Because really what it is education. It's being educated and wanting to do it and wanting to take that time to be like, okay, what can I do? Because even though I'm nervous with Europe, I'm still gonna have to reach out and ask and be like, where can I go? How can I stay here? What other places can I, you know, it's a thing when you're going to somewhere foreign, but it's so worth it. So this is the wrap of our episode. Naomie, tell everybody where they can find you.
Okay, perfect. So on YouTube, you can find me at Travel Na. That's TRAVELNA. And on Instagram is _ Travel Na. So TRAVELNA, another underscore. Thank you, Queens, for having me. I listen to your podcast all the time. You guys are amazing. I love you guys so much. So thank you so much for having me. I really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much. And we thank you. TK, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. You can go to tktrinidad.com. Also, if you want some body butter, body washes, candles, all that good stuff, new sensor coming. I'm really excited. The company is a lot blowing up. You can check that all out at centerin.co.
And I'm Monique Lovelace. You can check me out at where can you check me out? Oh, Instagram at It's Monique Lovelace. Also, you can go to my website, which is done and refreshed, MoniqueLovelace.com. Also, make sure you visit BlackQueensUncut.com and all of our social media at Queens Uncut on all platforms. And make sure you listen to us every Wednesday as we have a new episode dropping every Wednesday. Catch up on our last episodes, but honey, you can find us everywhere. Queens, y'all already know. Our fan base, y'all know where to find us. Spotify, Google, Apple, wherever you go, we're at. Okay. So make sure you check out our YouTube channel as well. Black Queens Uncut. Just type it in the search bar. It will come up. And thank you, Queendom family. Thank you, Naomie, for coming on. We appreciate you traveling, and girl, let's all get in the sky. Like, let's get in the skies, Queendom family. We love you guys. Thank you, Queens.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.